Welcome to another episode of My Experiences Audio Journeys. As I'm building the content base, I would like to be transparent about the content itself and the topics that I will be covering in each episode. I already created one podcast, if you will, called Simply Me, My Content. In that episode, I'll be talking about not so much how the content is made, but why the content is simplistic. And in this episode, I would like to talk about the topics that I'll be covering. If you check out the description box, you can find out a little bit about the content, like a summarized view of what I'm creating here, but I'm going to go more in depth in this episode. In addition to what I wrote in the description box, I will also be covering a broad amount of topics. Now, I know that they say that you should stick to a specific niche, but I feel like life experiences is my niche. Now, when I'm talking about life experiences, I could either be sharing something that's happened to me in my life so that others can take away something from it, like somebody listens to it and they don't feel alone, for example. Or I could also be sharing something that I have some knowledge on, not necessarily an expert, just have some knowledge on because I've been in situations where I have experience with that topic. So yeah, not every single episode is going to be like a diary, okay? There will be episodes where I just talk about things I like talking about, but of course, if I have experience with that topic, I will incorporate my knowledge and my experiences into that episode. And that's what I mean by being transparent. I don't want people to think that all I'm doing is just like an audio journal where I'm just constantly talking about myself. And I would also like to encourage interaction with the people that are listening. So at the end of an episode, I might give you a call to action, share your thoughts or share a similar experience. How would you handle something? That way you don't just feel like, I'm a talking head here. You feel like you can, actually talk back and reply and say what's on your mind. That's what I mean by being transparent. A lot of things have happened to me over the course of my life, and I have a lot of experiences that I can share and build off of. But I can't just give a laundry list of all the things I'm going to talk about because I don't even know. And I like that because I feel like, it keeps the channel from being boring. I don't want people to be bored, okay? So I want them to take something away from it when they walk away from each episode. I want them to feel like they can relate, and I want them to feel like they can resonate with what I'm saying. I don't want them to walk away thinking, man, that was boring. What was she talking about, So that's why, even if I'm just talking about a topic that I have some knowledge on, I'm always going to incorporate examples, experiences that I've had with that topic. So that way it doesn't just sound like I'm trying to talk about a topic just to talk about it. I've lived it. I am living it. So it's not just I decided to sit down and talk about ghosting, for example. No, I have been through that. I can talk about it. And I can also share my perspectives on a topic and my reflections based on what I've been through. Now, that's not to say that I might be vulnerable at times and I might decide to share something when I'm feeling vulnerable. Now, why would I do that? Well, because I think sometimes when you're vulnerable like that, other people can feel safe. They can feel like it's a safe place to go to listen to a shared experience. It doesn't mean I'm going to get on here bawling my head off after a breakup, but there might be times when I maybe cry a little bit in an episode, and I'm not going to be ashamed of that because it's a human behavior. It's just how we are. It's how we operate. I don't want it to just be like one big pity party either. I want to share triumphs, things that I've learned from bad experiences. Now I can get on here and talk about a bad experience, for example, chronic estrangement, which has been very hard for me dealing with in my life. But if I come on here and talk about it, I also want to talk about ways that I've coped, ways that I've been able to bring some positivity into my life while I'm going through the chronic estrangement. And that's just one example. That is one topic that at some point I will be covering, because chronic estrangement is something that I have a lot of experience with, unfortunately. There will also be a description box for each episode. That way, listeners can go in and read the episode description before they actually listen, so they know if they want to listen to that specific episode. I'm building a catalog of episodes before I actually make the channel public, and right now I'm in limbo. I haven't posted anything publicly, but I'm putting together just enough episodes to where I feel like I have a little bit of a catalog of episodes for people to choose from. Some introductory episodes about how the channel is made. That way they know what they're going into. I will say that I will be in that dreaded place. I like to call it small creator land. Oh gosh. That's kind of like a fear that I have with this channel, that, I'll put all this hard work into it and then I just, it'll just sit there. And that's the hard thing about being a small creator is, you get buried underneath the slush pile of all the AI content or all the polished content that's sitting at the top of the algorithm. Well, it's hard enough being a small creator, but when you don't use fancy bells and whistles, it makes it even harder. But in any case, if you find my channel and you hear something in it that resonates with you, makes you want to come back and listen to more episodes, I welcome you. And thank you so much for listening to my experiences, audio journeys.